Mr. Jim, it's up to
Yes.
you.
Oh, we have a quorum, right?
Yes,
2,
we do.
3, yep. Okay. So you want to start with public safety?
We do. I invited Matt. I got some numbers today for mainstay retirement for something that I want to talk to selectmen with next Tuesday night. And we've been talking about changing the retirement plan there. There's a special plan for police and fire, since you really don't want 60, 65-year-old firemen and police officers running around the countryside. If you look on line 304 on page 12, and this will all be spelled out in a note on the next version of this that you get. But if you go under my column in column C, I've got 47,900, same as Matt does. And in rough numbers, if you add $9,000 to that to change that to 56,900, I'm saying that can be a placeholder for selectmen and you folks to consider changing the retirement plan for the fire department only. Our 2 police officers that are not our employees, they have their own retirement. So this is just the fire department. I don't really care if you vote on this number tonight, but just to give it to you if you want it. Up above in line 297, the total for public safety, with that idea in there, is $1,339,031. $1,339,031. What that does is give a 25-year service retirement to somebody without an age requirement. And I think that's a good retention tool. And I think the selectmen can also consider that as part of a package. And I see Matt's got his hand up, so I'll defer to him.
So one thing that the PERS special plan will offer us is it broadens our selection pool potentially more considerably. Most of the communities around us, Lyman, Dayton offer it, Sanford, Biddeford, Saco. Most of the communities for anybody with public safety, law enforcement, police and fire, and dispatch. We can use this when we go to recruit or advertise that if someone already works for a city that has this, we can potentially have them as an option for us. Because right now, if they work hypothetically 15 years for municipality X that has the plan, and we're advertising for position, they're not as likely to come to us if we don't have the same type of retirement structure that they've got already, because they're going to sign on to come with us to work until 65 years old at that point. The challenge we have is, in all honesty, is the requirements to work well is they may not be able to work at 65. They may have issues with passing the work well NFPA requirements as a firefighter. So this is a huge tool for us. I know Gary didn't dive into this part yet, and I think he's going to in a minute, but we've been having some conversations about looking at other wages for other communities to see where we align and how do we compare. We are noticing that we are well under other communities as well. One thing I did suggest to Gary is that rather than looking at that total dollar, that we take that into consideration with this 1% change for the retirement, so that we balance those 2 numbers out.
Actually, I think it's 1.5%, Mac. When I looked at the numbers after we spoke today.
Okay, yeah, 1.5. Okay.
So other than that, in line 301, you folks we chatted about the 2 new firefighters. I think you were all here last year for that. And as far as I know, you support that. So that's the only red ink and in terms of a change in line 301. And I think other than that, it's time for you folks to ask any questions that you have.
So as far as this retirement, you're not in the other line for retirement already in the beginning? Line 15. Are they in line 15 now? Or are they separate from that retirement?
Oh, definitely separate. Yeah, the retirement is broken out by budget sections and departments. So,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so that's separate. Okay. And I have another question.
Yep.
The health officer, I see it listed in a couple different lines, 342 and 173. So is it supposed to be under the fire department, or is it supposed to go with the other in both departments?
Well, we have two. We pay the code officer the same stipend as Lisa Bennett.
Okay.
So that's the reason.
That's the reason. So they share.
They share the duties. I would say Lisa would take the lead, but now and then Glenn is in some nasty situations in buildings that need to be condemned.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, a couple of years ago, Matt? I think it was handy to have more than one.
I think it's based on availability. So if one's not available, the others, they had to take the lead.
Okay.
So if we added 2 more firefighters, that would be the 4 that you asked for last year, right?
Correct. And we still are, it's an ongoing effort to continue to recruit. We're doing whatever we can, but obviously the pandemic hasn't helped us with that, but and the numbers certainly don't look like it's helping moving forward, that's for sure.
Are they right out of school, Matt?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Are they right out of school?
Well, the retirement is what's going to help us is that we can hopefully get people that aren't directly out of school, that we can find someone that's got some years of experience. That's a huge factor. I know that we've got some really potentially for some strong candidates this year that have interest that work with us that in all reality, they're in a retirement program that's better than that. It's a 20-year no-age retirement for the city of Westbrook, and they've been working with us as a call in the call department for several years now, and he knows obviously we've submitted this, and I think he's been eyeballing it last year to see if it made sense for him then. But he's up for retirement now, and he wants to transition out of law enforcement, but he's also been a firefighter EMT advanced for. I think he's going on 15 years now. He worked for Kennybunk as well. He's been working per diem shifts for us for quite a while. And an individual like that would be a perfect candidate for us for longevity as well.
Matt, didn't we have somebody in the last round of hiring when we hired Addie that wasn't interested in applying because we did not have that retirement transition?
We had several. We had several people that were interested. Goodwin's Mills added it last year as well, that retirement program, because they saw the need of it, and understandably as well. Diane, did I answer that question for you okay?
Yes, you did. Thanks.
Well, she's landed at home. It was our first trip out in anything substantial for snow.
Other questions?
Not for me, not right now.
Do you wish to vote on the number or move on to the transfer station?
I think we should vote on the number. It's not really a question, but I think, Matt, I understand completely. In an effort to this new pension plan that you want to offer these guys, and you said it, I just want to make sure I understand, because I'm all for it. We're getting the other 2 men that you requested last year. If we can get this retirement system, it's just one more leveling of the playing field, so to speak, in your mind, to attract candidates.
That's a great way to put it, too. It's leveling it with other communities nearby and across the state. But yes, and our issue long term, the reality is, and I'm not saying, we work right now to 65. That's the current plan that we've got. The reality is, I'm not saying a 65-year-old person cannot do the job. The reality is does a 65-year-old in the front line is he going to be able, he or she able to perform to what that job is? Crawling around in a building, climbing a 100-foot aerial, climbing a 35-foot ladder, doing vents in the roof. Those are the challenges I think we face, and that's why they instituted those type of plans for the no-age retirement. So you put your years of service in, and then you can retire. But it also helps us so that we can use that as a leverage or a tool to attract somebody that's already got certifications and trainings from another community.
Okay, that sounds fine. That sounds good. I'm all for it. So, Jim, do we want to vote on this?
Yeah, we can vote on this.
Listen, I move that we accept the $1,339 or $1,339,031. That will bookmark the extra monies, Gary, that you were talking about for that pension.
For the moment, yep.
So that's my motion.
Okay.
I will second that motion. Any discussion? No?
I think we've discussed it.
Okay. All in favor?
3-0.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Matt, before you go, I don't think there's anything in Ross Corner you need to add. That's pretty cut and dried as usual, isn't it?
Nothing in this earth-shattering that I've seen.
Good. And then I think the same thing in the capital improvement. The things that you've got in there, the doors and the other things are pretty routine.
Yeah, I think we talked about some of those before, the flooring.
Yeah, I can handle those.
Yep. And I think the only other thing in capital, other than the overhead doors, I believe was in equipment, and that was to replace the 2008 Trailblazer.
Yep. And whether or not we put a plow on the pickup.
Correct.
Okay, thanks for tuning in.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome to stay. It's going to be exciting. So,
Okay. I'll kick around for a few.
Hydrant rental, Jim, page 14.
Hydrant rental.
Certainly nothing.
The department recommends 61,000. The town administrator recommends 61,000. You were going to say something, Gary?
Just nothing has changed as far as we know. We do not know of an increase coming up from the water district here. This is a percentage that we have to pay our water district for PUC regs. Pam Whitman, the secretary, told me as far as she knew, this was about a month ago, it was not going up.
Do we have to pay for the water if there's a structure fire? Do we pay for the water we use? Or is that included in the hydrant rental?
We do not
in the hydrant rental.
Okay.
It better be included for 61 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to go to the PUC to increase their rates at this point. I don't see that happening.
Okay.
There's going to be a turnover in the 3-person board. David Benton says he's getting done. He was one of the founding members of that district. We all know from discussions last year, if you remember, that this tank has never been drained and cleaned. And that's going to happen sometime. And Lord only knows how that's going to happen without another tank backing up the fire suppression water. So, but to the budget item, it's 61,000, same as last year. Same as this year, sorry.
Matt, do you get a report when they test the hydrants and that? Do you get a report from them when they do that?
They usually let us know they're out testing, but we don't hear anything
That's
else.
it. Okay. Then I'll make a motion for 61,000 for the hydrant rental.
I will second that.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
3-0. Thank you.
Ross Corner Fire Company.
Yep, they pretty much budget and split it between 3 towns, Alfred, Chapley, and Waterboro, same as last year, and not a whole lot of change outside of a couple of overhead doors here about 2 or 3 years ago, so pretty routine.
I'll move we accept the 9360.
Diane seconds it. Okay. All in favor?
3-0. Thank you. Transfer station. Josh is here with us, and I'll defer if he wants to make any opening remarks. I'll just notice that on line 363, we've upgraded a part-time person to full-time, and some additional time in there, and a little bit of merit increase to get the wages up a little bit more for a little bit more of an incentive to work weekends, since we did that with rec. So there's a significant increase there in that line.
What's the incentive for them, Gary?
In terms of wages,
Yep, because Parks and Rec got 17%. What is this one getting?
no, I take that back. Josh, I guess it was just 2%, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only 2%. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we had brought Joe up quite a bit last year. That was from $11 to $14. The others were already there. So I take that back, Diane.
Okay, all right.
They are at from $14 to $16 now.
Okay.
High 14s. Josh, do you have things to add?
Not on that line, no.
You have questions in detail of the facility there. Josh can answer them better than I probably.
Do you have any real good projects that you need to, safety issues or anything that need to be fixed up there, Josh?
Right now, I am planning on converting. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Converting the burnable furniture compactor into a second household trash compactor. For what we're using it right now, it's not really a good setup for oversized bulky waste. So it's kind of a wasted machine. And as a lot of you know, we're real busy on the weekends and we overflow. By turning that into a second trash compactor, it'll hopefully take care of the overflow issues.
So you're not looking to put anything over the recycling?
Yep, that's.
Is that in this one?
Yeah, I was going to kind of focus on that more in the spring. Not right at this new moment. I am putting a new cover over it, the one that's existing there now. I'm going to redo the metal on it, but right now, nothing until the spring.
Okay.
Well, I think she was probably talking about a roof. And remember, we put that out to bid years ago, and we had $40,000 for it, and the bid came in at 120, so we never did that. That money is gone. Diane, were you talking about the good sized roof that we would like to put over there?
Yeah.
We did not budget for that.
Okay. All right.
In the capital here.
So Dennis, is there any way in a warrant, or I don't know if you have to do an ordinance or something, so that the money that they're collecting through all their fees and that can stay with them to do some of this extra work? Can that be done? Or does it have to go through an ordinance committee or the charter?
The ordinance or the article can be worded that any residuals or any of the revenue above a certain amount could be retained. I think it's just easier to look at it annually and address that in, typically it's what, Article 4 or Article 2 or whatever, the carry forwards. But the money that was in that account to put the structure over the recycling bin, I thought was still retained in that account, but I'm not sure that didn't just roll into.
It wasn't a capital, was it?
No, it was. It was part of the budget to put that in. But we raised X amount and then we carried it over, and we raised X amount and carried it over again. So, but I'm not sure that we've identified that as an account that has available money to put the structure over it. Unfortunately, in hindsight, we go to an engineering firm to put a structure over it. So your bids come back at $150,000 instead of $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
So because they've got everything and plus the kitchen sink in it, but so we could probably resurrect that process to determine whether or not that funding is it. If nothing more, it's in unappropriated surplus.
Okay.
But we should be able to track how much was in there when it rolled into unappropriated surplus or surplus of the fund balance.
Because I'm sure the fees that they turn over at the end of the year, if those could stay with them also, that would help them out getting some of the things that they need to have done.
And right now, the fees need to be reviewed because I don't believe, and Josh can jump in here, but there are certain fees that are not covering the disposal fee, our disposal fee.
Okay.
Yeah. We, right now I'm working on a new updated list, and I'd like to have that out for when this new budget starts, give people some time and put it out there so that you're not really blindsiding them. The price of disposal, just about everything is going way up, and there's a lot of things where we are breaking even. There's a lot where we're not breaking even. Like right now we're not charging for oil or antifreeze. In the past, we never had to pay for it. Now we do. 50 cents a gallon for oil, 75 cents a gallon for antifreeze. It adds up real quick. Air conditioners, any Freon units, we're charging what they're charging us to dispose of them. And as far as demolition debris and shingles and sheetrock, really without scales, it makes it hard to, judge loads. So I think we need to just, fluff those prices a little bit, just in the event that we aren't charging enough on loads that we can, at least not sink ourselves, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Diane, I understand your point about dedicating the revenues. I don't philosophically argue with that. We just have to remember that, this is a, $500,000 to $600,000 budget, and their revenue is somewhere north of $100,000. So we either put all that revenue towards the expense line, or if we sequester that and carry it forward, then we use more money out of the fund balance to fund the budget overall. It nets out the same. You can do it either way.
Yeah. Well, I guess my thing is if they need the money to do some of these things, then it should be available to them to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's our job to put it in the budget.
In that year.
We did that before, and unfortunately we budgeted $40,000 for a roof that was engineered required bonding contractors, and there are a great many contractors who aren't bonded, who don't even participate in jobs like that. This is a relatively small job, and that's why we only got that one bid. I was talking to Jake Lozier, and maybe we need to talk to some other builders here, and instead of engineered plans, although we might need some because it's a structure in a public place, we don't have to over-engineer this and spend quite as much money on architectural/engineering services to just get a roof over that enclosure, I hope.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Josh, I have a question for you.
Yep.
That $100 that I pay for my hauler's permit, does that go to the town or does that go to the state?
That goes to the town.
Okay. And I don't know what the other haulers are paying, but
You cut out there for a second.
go up $2. I said I could probably shoot my.
I think he's freezing.
Yeah.
Jim, we've lost you.
Am I there?
You are now.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why I was freezing. But I think the haulers, especially like I am willing to go up $2, and I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I can go up $2 a yard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that $6 is probably a little low for us.
You all are paying $6 a yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could probably go up.
Yep. Yeah, I have that. I have that in. I started an Excel spreadsheet with all of the charges we have now, and I put in a section for my recommended pricing, and then I left a section for budget committee or selectmen's recommended pricing. I think we just need to sit down and have a workshop on it.
Yep.
Just so everybody knows, the cost ton at EcoMaine goes up another bucks July 1st per ton. So Jim brings up a good point. Maybe we need to pass that on to the commercial haulers.
Yep.
The commercial haulers, Jim, that haul direct to EcoMaine, the town of Waterboro doesn't pay for that tipping fee. They pay, that's part of their deal. They're paying directly to EcoMaine and a commercial rate for that.
Right. When I haul to the transfer station, I pay the town.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how much are we paying per ton?
$75 a ton right now. It's going up to $76.50, I believe. Is that correct, Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, $76.50, July 1st. So it makes a big difference.
That's household rubbish.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The single sort stays at $35 a ton.
Yep.
Although the market is coming back there, so we'll have that discussion, I'm sure, at EcoMaine. Because we never paid a tipping fee for single sort because the market was always so good for recyclables.
So we're actually paying for recyclables right now?
Yes.
$35 a ton because there's no, or there hasn't been a value in getting recyclables. The paper cost of paper and tin goods and whatnot has been way down, although that market is now coming back. So, like I said, there'll be a discussion when we have the finance committee meeting at EcoMaine of whether or not we keep the $35 a ton for single sort.
maybe you need to raise the price of the stickers for the, I know it's hard, but well, on Cape, I was like astounded when we came to Maine for our dump. We used to, on Cape Cod, pay $75. That was for a beach sticker too. So it was like probably about 40, I think, for the dump. And the other part was for the beach on Cape Cod. So when we got here, it was $6. We were like, what?
You'd be surprised at people that complain about $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the user fees. If you bring it in, you pay a flat rate for what you bring in. I think that's more fair.
Yeah.
I think we can cover the costs of putting the stickers out. That's okay. I would direct you to page 15, and just the one biggest jump here is in line 373.
You read my mind, Gary.
We got $40,000 in there for paving the lower section, which is a good idea. It'll clean up easier with plowing. It has to be extremely thick and strong. That is a brand new item right from zero. So I would say if adjustments had to be made after you get done with your entire budget, this would be nice to do. It would look better and clean up better. But that is new.
And if we were ever going to add on down bottom, that would be the first thing we'd have to do anyways, is pavement with the dirt. You know, everything we do here, there's a lot of, we're constantly digging up gravel and replacing it, because you get metal, you get trash, you get all kinds of stuff into the ground, and it doesn't clean up easy. Part of that, that 40,000 may go to just a little bit of repairs up top. Some of the aging pavement is starting to crack, and you know, we've been cold patching it, but that's only a Band-Aid. So, you know, this is just, I'd rather do it and have it done, you know, get a lot of it done at one time than have to keep, you know, every year trying to come in and add a little bit. You know, this 40,000, I think will cover a good chunk of that. It's a start.
Anything else?
Have you priced out a new loader yet?
Yes, that's in the capital plan.
27, and that's a pretty close price.
We put in $130,000 and then just roughly financed it.
Okay.
For 5 years.
Okay.
We'll get to that when we get to the CIP. Since we just put 14 in the one Josh is using now, we ought to get several thousand more dollars for it, hopefully when we sell it, assuming that we do sell it. Would you folks want to vote on the transfer station? Do you want to move on to Public Works?
Let's vote on it.
Let's vote. Yeah.
I'll move that we accept the 672, 635.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? No? All in favor?
3-0.
3-0.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Josh.
Yep. Gary, do you want me to stay on and give you a hand with the Public Works?
You certainly can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have no problem with that.
Let's see how well I do. So I think we announced before, I hope everybody's heard. If not, I'll tell you now. Peter Smith is the Public Works Director. I wasn't going to ask him to come tonight. He actually starts, I think it's a week from today. His first day actually here might not be until Friday, but he's been trying to come here on Fridays and talk with Tom and Jason, and to a certain extent, Josh as well. He'll be over probably checking the roads in this storm, knowing him. But anxious to have him up and going and taking some of the reins over. When we get down beyond this into the CIP tonight, I have some new information today from both Dayton Sand and Gravel and Carroll Materials on paving. I'll give you a summary of that. But the summary, the new items here in line 412, 412, just to review, there's still a second driver position in there we have not filled. So it's a position we need to fill, but you can see by the salary line, we're only going from 211 to 220. So that money was in there last year. We just didn't end up filling it. On line 420, 420, we think it's going to be right around $23,000 to buy a new tilt trailer. If we decide to do that, the two that we have are pretty old. We would like one, maybe two of our drivers. Josh wants to get his CDL. And if we're going to do that, we might as well have him get a CDL Class A and have Jason, our existing Class B. Is it ABC or 1, 2, 3, Josh?
It's ABC.
Okay. Then maybe Jason could go from a B to an A, and he has to have a trailer to do that. And both trailers we have are not adequate for that. So scrap two trailers and get one new one.
What size trailer?
That would be a big trailer to haul our excavator and the loader back home.
Okay.
That the dump truck would pull.
Okay.
Those are the big items. And then I've invited Paul Poirier, our snowplow contractor, to hopefully come on March 2nd at 5 o'clock for an executive session with the selectmen to see whether or not he has interest in getting 2 more years with us. If he does, then that can be settled within the next few months. If he doesn't, then we would be going out to bid in mud season, I guess, for next winter. His contract allows for 2 more years in a single decision vote by the selectmen. And with the dollar amount still up in the air, not determined at this time. Josh, do you have anything else to add to this?
No, I do not.
Okay.
The plowing contract, Gary, is there a line that says if he wants to do it another year that there's a certain percentage that it would increase, or does he name his amount?
I think the selectmen and he have to come to that agreement and probably sign another 2-year extension because the contract does not have financial parameters in that.
Okay, so as of right now, it would still be 500.
As of right now, it's unknown, I guess. That would be the starting point for discussion, I guess. He's also interested in Alfred, so he may be playing the field there. And remember, he was the only bidder that we had. We also put the town out to bid for 3 different sections, which was done quite some time ago, I guess, long before I got here. Mm-hmm. We can do that, but that's a little more cumbersome working with 3 different contractors. I think that's all the comments I have. Dennis, do you have anything to add?
No, I'd be just interested. Did we get a price from either Carroll or Dayton Sand on what hot top per ton is going to be? Or
well, I've got those 11 projects broken out from both Dayton and Carroll And I was really going to summarize that under capital improvement because, and we can do that now.
I'm just curious, we're not going to, I'm sure prices are going to go up because oil is already increasing. So I'm assuming that we won't do as much for the 275 in this budget as we've done for the 275 in the last budget.
The ton price with all states, which is Carroll Materials, $73.50 a ton, and with Dayton, they do it by the yard. I'm guessing a square yard must be all of a ton.
Rate for
No, that can't be right. That doesn't equate. A cubic yard of, oh, this is square yards, not cubic yards, sorry. They don't have the price on here. But I can tell you that Dayton's prices were considerably higher than Carroll Materials. We've got 11 projects here, and that will take somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 if we did them all in 1 year. I'm not suggesting we do that. We can make a very big hole in there by taking the existing about $260,000 we have between now and June 30th, left over in the hot top line and the capital line, the upgrade roads line. And then I've kept the hot top line that's in the budget before you at 275. So that's $535,000 without the capital lines that I'm suggesting in here could be 150.
So not to belabor this, but why is there a $58,000 credit in the hot time current expenditure file on hot top? So it looks like we've still got $220,000 left to pave to spend in this current year.
Yes.
There's 57, but there's a credit of 58. That either come out of capital.
I guess that was a carry forward.
Not a negative.
I see Julie.
I don't know. Anyway, could have been 58,000 carried forward, I suppose.
Oh, I think very easily considering what we didn't do last year. So I'm keeping we're not in the CIP now, we're in Public Works, but
Yeah.
I'm keeping the hot top, the line, which is line 423 at 275.
Yeah.
And then when we get into capital, I'm thinking I'll keep that down or not up a whole lot, keep that at 150,000. And then we're going to have Pete Smith and the crew here work hard and starting early this season to spend that entire 260 between now and June 30th.
Okay.
So that doesn't get you any closer to a vote on Public Works, but.
Gary, on line 437, grounds and maintenance.
Yep.
Was 12,000. You want to get an itemized thing to see, because according to the expenditure that I have on 217, there was, I think, 11,000 spent this year on grounds and maintenance. So you were going to get more of an itemized from Julie, I think.
Okay, I don't see her on here. Josh, do you recall whether most of that was mowing, or was some of that, a good chunk of that was that materials?
So for the grounds, I don't think David was breaking everything up. There wasn't a certain fuel account. There wasn't a payroll account. He was paying everything out of that one account.
Including Sean's time when he mowed for a day, you mean?
Yes. Yep. And like I said before, I think it needs to be broken down into separate, categories. But
Well, it should be, because back in line 412, we've got 7,500 there for seasonal grounds labor of mowing.
right,
All of that labor time should have been taken out of that line.
To Diane's point, if you look at the mowing account now, we've used $65 out of it.
yeah, that was.
And out of the grounds account, we've used 11,200 out of the 12,000. So
Right,
I guess everything was being dumped into one account there.
yeah,
Yeah, because Friendship Park didn't get taken, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there that didn't
Yep.
get done there this year. So
What we can do, Diane, is have Julie go back and pull out the labor that should not be in line 437 account. Pull
Okay.
that back up into the salary line. And then before the end of the year, make this look more accurate, if you will.
well, I think it should, because that just seems like a lot for a year when the fields really weren't used all that much.
Yep, I agree.
Seeding it and taking care of it, and other than just mowing it, what else was done to them, really?
right. That's, that account covers, Town Hall, Taylor House, the monument, any of the mowing that was done at the fire station, brush hogging, that all comes out of that one account. The beach, it's not just, the Friendship Park.
Well, it says loam and seed ball fields, so
But yeah,
for this year. So
we need to do a lot of work down there this year.
yeah,
With people not using it last year, we kind of spent the bare minimum on the fields. The fields are bad anyways. Friendship Park is a gravel pit. There's no water down there. The well doesn't work. So, I think before we go spending upward, thousands of dollars on relooming and redoing the field, we need to figure out the water situation.
okay. So in the rec, where they've got field maintenance and that under the rec department, should that be in this department then? Maintenance?
I don't. So, I did the work. I take care of the fields, but David was it was his department. So I don't know. I think Todd was paying for some of it. Public Works was paying for some of it. I don't know how they were breaking it up.
Okay. No, I'm just looking at this budget for this year. It says ground maintenance, Friendships, $5,000. Should that be in the Public Works Department?
Well, his desire is to pull up all the grass and to have a complete dirt infield.
Right. Yeah, he has a company coming in. Well, that's the plan, hopefully, to have a company come in and redo the field.
Oh, okay. Because I talked to a couple of other towns and they've never heard of that. Are they pulling up the infield grass so that they can have it as a dual field so they could do baseball and softball on it? Or is it just going to go strictly baseball?
I believe it's going to be strictly baseball. They spent money and did, I believe they did Lions Club last year, correct? They redid Lions Club field last year for the softball.
Yeah, they added some sand or dirt or whatever out there.
Yeah.
That was a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
My big question when the selectmen get to talk to Todd is, why are we going to spend $5,000 and we haven't got a well and we haven't got certain things that need to be fixed first? And if the Little League is suggesting that we turn it into a skin infield, what are they contributing?
Little League isn't playing on the field this year.
No, and I talked.
Friendship Park?
Yeah, the league director said they're going to go elsewhere.
Yeah. He didn't, let's see. I spoke with the president of the Massabesic Little League, and he sent me an email regarding changing it to the dirt surface. And he hadn't seen or read any studies where it's either good or bad. So I think maybe if you take care of the water supply first before you go in and do any of this other stuff, I think that would work better.
I agree.
I would like to see it stay grass.
Well, the only way to take care of the water supply down there is to bring town water, and that's up at the middle school. So that's an even bigger ticket.
They
Water
can't
district.
put a well in.
I'm sorry?
They can't put a well in.
We have a well down there. It's not enough water in it. And if you're going to water grass, then you better have a high production well, or you're going to run out within an hour or two, if that. Right now, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we can run the sprinklers down there for more than an hour.
Yeah, right now we can't run anything off it. Something's up with the pump. But before, yeah, an hour, 2 sprinklers for an hour, and it was running it dry. You know, I don't know if we need to just go back in and frack the well, or, you know, I don't know.
I guess that would be my question is that it worked well for 25 years, so what happened?
Right.
It never worked. It didn't work right since when Doug redid it. It never worked right.
maybe that's the smoking gun. I don't know. But
Yeah.
let's go fix it.
So, but I've been saying that since day one. It's crazy to spend money down there unless we fix the well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, spend all that money on a new field that's just going to die if we don't get water.
Well, if we're taking the grass out, and we may not want to do that, but if we do that, that obviously requires less water.
Well, you still got the outfield to water, but anyways, I would rather see the grass stay there. I think to me, it's a aesthetic thing. And he also told me that he had been giving the town $600 a year. And that was an amount that was agreed upon. Are they still doing that?
I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't be surprised that they might have stopped when they stopped playing there.
Yeah. I'm not-
$4,000 question.
He didn't say. So this is just coming from their president. So in having a conversation with him. So
If that's all they pay for the field, that's a heck of a deal.
well, he said it was agreed upon before he got involved. So I'm sure it was an old amount that it was agreed upon. So,
Yeah.
but I called Buxton and Sanford and Hollis, and they can't have any idea about the grass infield for a baseball. So
You mean the dirt infield?
a dirt infield. Sorry, yeah, they're all grass. So, but
I've never heard of that. A dirt infield.
for baseball, I never have either. So I don't know where he got this information from. So, but I would like to see him wait on the company first before any digging is done.
In other words, wait on pulling out the grass is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the board will have that discussion with him when we review the budget.
Yep. So, and then my other question, I'm all set with you, Josh. I'll wait on the other question because I'm all set.
So Diane, am I correct in saying you were not suggesting any amendments to the public works budget?
Maybe moving that money over from Parks and Rec into their budget where it has to do with maintenance on the fields and stuff, because I thought that was all turned over to Public Works.
Yeah, if we find out if most of that 5,000 in rec is going to be with a contractor, I would say that wouldn't matter where it would be, but I think I'll circle back around with Todd.
Okay.
And,
But
certainly,
it's not Parks and Rec anymore. It's just Rec.
right.
Right. I'm lived here too long, so I still call it Parks and Rec.
You live next to it.
Part of it. So, okay.
So what do you wish to do with the public works figure, lady and gentleman?
I'm going to say, I'll make a motion that we go with that amount. 1,504,385.
Okay.
Was that a second, Jim?
Yeah, I'll second that.
You have any comments?
Nothing?
Oh,
All in,
I'm gonna say something.
all in favor?
3-0. Thank you. General assistance is pretty cut and dried and pretty amazing. We have not been hit with more assistance requests, considering the numbers of people that lost some or all of their job in the last year. But this is what Nancy has put together, and she's deeper into this than I am, and her intuition is pretty good in this. So that budget sits at $35,160 in line 452.
I move to accept the 35,160.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
3-0.
I'm gonna log off now.
Okay, Josh, thank you very
All right,
much.
Josh.
Have a good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
Jeff.
Yeah, right.
So the first big change, and I haven't really talked with Dennis about this other than concept, is line 497 in capital improvement on page 19. Something we really need to understand, because this is $183,000. This is for the generator for the middle school to make a proper Red Cross certified emergency shelter in that building. It's not going to power the entire school for classrooms during the day, but it will give you hot water. It will give you the full kitchen. It will give you heat in the gym and the cafeteria enough so that that could be a 24/7 emergency shelter that we do not have today. RSU 57 is going to reimburse the town 25% of what the bid price is for this generator. And this $183,750 is an amount that we were awarded. In other words, up to that. So if the bid comes in less, that's fine. If it comes in more, then we have to discuss that with the school.
So is there something you're adding, Gary?
What I'm doing here is telling you that this is completely offset by 75% reimbursement for whatever the amount is, 185 or less, from FEMA, and 25% from the town, from the RSU, I'm sorry. So you just have to keep that in mind. And if you look up on line 487, we've gone right now, the item here is 471,000 and change, whereas this past year we were at 258,000 for CIP. Very significant increase. If you pull that 183,000 grand out of that, you're down to 312,000 for this total section in terms of a net cost to the taxpayer, which is where our heads all ought to be. Any questions on the grant and understanding that it's 100% reimbursed from two different sources? Hearing none. To Diane's point a while ago in line 496, there's a new loader backhoe in there. And we try and cycle the one for Public Works at around 4,000 hours over into the transfer station for several more years of service. We have to fill the tires with the solid material to work at the transfer station, which is very expensive, but we do that. And then the new machine would be the Public Works machine, and we would probably get 4 or 5 years out of that. So you see, I financed it at 5 years, very conservatively saying it would be at 4%. So that $27,000 in there should be enough. And if this is approved, this would go back into section 13 of the budget a year from now. One more notch above, Lions Field light replacement. Todd made a presentation to selectmen about whether or not to try and do that in this present year's budget because he has money left over in the salary line. That's still under discussion. And there's plenty of time that if selectmen and staff decide that that's going to be done this year, then this line would go to zero. But I guess we're looking at both options right at the moment. That is an estimate we have there. We've not gone out to bid for this, which obviously we would have to do. It's an estimate from our electrician and the person that came to take the lights down when they were falling down in Diane's backyard. So, town hall meeting room furniture, line 494. I'm talking about the furniture that's in the audience at the selectmen and the planning board meeting. I haven't put any dollar figure in there, but we have 45 chairs. So I think the selectmen are pretty comfortable with the chairs that they have at the dais, but certainly the older ones that are pretty sad looking are out in the audience. The other vehicle for line 493 is a fire department SUV, which is 11 going on 12 years old. And we've talked before about the bottle replacement for the fire department, the Scott air packs. And I guess one thing that's not absolutely necessary is line 491. I resisted the plow for a while down there because I don't want firemen just plowing the parking lot. But the comeback is when you need to get an ambulance down one of these small roads that we have, if you have to wait for public works, that can be a problem. I mean, our crew comes out very quickly, relatively speaking, but if there's a plow right there on our four-wheel drive pickup that we have at the fire station, certainly they can have a plow on it, but it's just not going to be used as another public works vehicle, and they would not be plowing the central station parking lot unless it was absolutely necessary. It's there to twitch out a road during a storm if an ambulance gets called. The other things in buildings from line 499 down, I think we talked about before, the bay doors on Central Station are corroded on the bottom, and some of the tracks have started to corrode as well. The sign on Old Alfred Road needs to be redone. That is not going to be an LED sign. It's just going to be an unlit sign, not an internal lit sign. Flooring inside the Central Station. And here's another item that is up for discretion, I guess. The siding on the old section of Town Hall here. It looks pretty awful. That sign needs to come down on the side of the building as well if we do decide to side it. And essentially you would be doing 3+ sides. You'd be doing the cemetery and all the way coming around in the end and out on Townhouse Road. Before we turn the page, are there questions on page 19?
I have a question on the car for Matt or for Lisa. I'm not sure who's getting it. It would be Lisa, correct?
Probably not.
They're passed down?
Usually.
Matt would go to Lisa and then Matt would get the new one. Is that how that works? And that doesn't matter. Have they priced out a car?
Did you hear that, Matt?
Yeah, we have. We've got estimates for the vehicles already.
You do? Okay. What are you looking at with everything, with the fit up costs and everything?
It's, well, by the time it's probably said and done, I think we're looking at mid-40s for the vehicle. The upfit cost probably in the ballpark right now about $6,000 to $7,000 for upfit. Between you get the
right around 50.
Yeah, it's 50, 52 is what the ballpark was.
Okay.
Total. And that one is listed as a 2008. I'm sorry, 2009 on the document. It's a 2008.
Okay.
Okay. What is your car, Matt?
It's a 2015 Tahoe.
Okay.
And the fit up costs for that were $3,000 to $4,000, Matt. Radios, sirens, etc.
It was 6 to 7. I don't have that paperwork right in front of me either, to be honest with you. So that's why I was estimating what it was on the document. But
so are we going to finance for 4 years?
That's I think done before.
Yep.
So that's $20,000 for 4 years is what you're saying? No?
No.
The 20,000 was the first year because it included the upfit.
Okay.
And at that rate, the fourth year, might not be that much. Might not be that 15,000.
I think it was in the ballpark last time, $12,000 thereabouts.
So would a lot of this have to go out for bids? Is there a certain amount that you can spend before it has to go out to bid? Not just for the vehicles, but for any of the 498 down? Dennis can probably answer that one.
Well, they have a purchasing policy that would require essentially all that to go out to the bid. I don't know about the flooring.
No, but typically you would bid. You would have to have a spec and require some level of bidding on it.
Okay.
I know, Diane, when we, like the pickup truck we bought, the service truck, the red one we got, we went out to bid on that, and we got bids on Chevys, GMCs, and Fords.
Oh, okay.
And then when we got looked at them, we looked at what the availability was, the price, when could they deliver? I mean, some of the Chevys weren't even available for 6 to 8 plus months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we looked at them and we put in the specs either red or white. We didn't isolate them. We didn't say blue. We didn't say black. And I was suspecting we'd do the same thing moving forward. But whether like the plow, I mean, we can bid it out, but I don't, we can get shopping, but most of the Fisher plows are fairly close. We'll get S3 estimates on those and see where we're at. But I don't think it makes sense to drive to New Hampshire to get it put on, because that's where you're going to have to go get someone probably to fix it if it's messed up. And the doors, I guess we can certainly bid it out. We've used Bud's overhead door, Buddy Stearns in Waterboro for ever and a day, I guess.
Okay.
Certainly we can bid it out. That's not an issue, but unfortunately, sometimes even with that is you swap it up, and now we have, are we changing vendors, and then who's coming to service it later on? And realistically, we've had really good service with some of the local vendors.
Good. Then you probably should stick with them. Yeah.
And that's, and the same with the meeting room floor. We've used a couple prices from Sanford Flooring, and I think there's another one, but we don't have any flooring places in town anymore. So, but we got prices from them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Probably
you.
the only single source vendor on here, Matt, would be the bottles.
I was just going to say, like the SCBA bottles, there's only one vendor for those. So we buy them from IPS. That's the only one that sells Scott bottles for the Northeast, or that we can buy from for our area. And we find that with some, I don't want to go backwards, but like turnout gear, there's some things that are single source that we just can't buy from other places.
All righty. Thank you.
Did you guys have any other question on that generator? This is part of the hazard. That was part of the hazard mitigation grant. Is where we stuffed that into for the grant. We originally thought that the school was going to be able to pay the 25%, and that obviously FEMA would cover the remaining 40%. However, it is a reimbursable grant, and the school is not eligible to receive those funds directly, so it has to go through the town. And it will power a majority of the building for all the heat and essential. And the way that building was pre-designed was that the lights work throughout the entire campus for emergency purposes. But the generator will give the kitchen, the gymnasium, the lavatories, the common area between the nurses station. So we can operate that if we need to in a disaster or emergency, and be able to house just about everybody that we would need to house from Waterboro, and probably even expand if we had to into classrooms. But we don't foresee that being a need at that point. But the options are great, and it's something's long overdue for that building and for our community.
Well, if there's no other questions on 19, I'll take you over to 20, page 20. You'll see in line 506, I had $125,000 in there. for your consideration in that for selectmen, and as we look at all these projects, the 11 that we have, I guess, I'm bumping that to $150,000 in my line under column C. And you'll see typed in here at a later date, Ospey Hill, Middle Road, Deering Ridge Road, and Star Hill Road. Some of these need a top coat from a base coat they had this past year. And Ospey Hill Extension is a dirt road right now. It will just get a base coat. So if you put that all together with the 260 that we have available this year, plus the 275 that will be in this proposed budget for hot top, that gets us well, deep into almost $650,000 in paving this coming year, which is a lot. But if we start earlier and do a better job than we have in the past to get those spring paving done before June 30th, we have plenty of work to do. And I'm going to make copies of these proposals that I got today from Dayton and Carroll Materials and give them to both the selectmen and you folks. Selectmen will get it next Tuesday, or maybe I'll just give it to you by email, all of you. Budget committee, when you get your packet later this week, and selectmen next week. So that for the 150, if you go back to page 19, and I'll give you a new total for line 487. Instead of the 471,201 under column C in my column, that number would be 496,201. 496,201. And keep in mind, 184,000 of that, or just under that, is that grant that's coming back. It's a significant increase going from about 258,000 in this present year to 312. But the cost to the taxpayer is that, and it's not what you're looking at in the total figure.
Can I ask a question, Gary?
Absolutely.
Under 516, where they funded some CIPs in the past.
Yep.
Last year, I think it was last year, Deering Ridge Road and that, I know the paving has been done. Are they doing the culverts and the ditching? I mean, did they do the culverts before they did the paving?
You always do that. You're supposed to anyway. I believe there's still a section down towards the 202 end, isn't it, Dennis? That's the part that needs additional paving?
No, they went to the town line 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Carroll did that. Okay. I think what's well.
I'm talking about what they did this year from Hooper.
I think everything is. I think everything has been done.
Well, then maybe this is the shim finished wear coat over that, because that would have been a thicker layer, I think, 1.5 inches of base coat, wouldn't it?
I'm sure that's what was done from the top of, or up by Hooper Hill down to
Townhouse Road.
Down to Townhouse Road, but that was all paved. It was late in the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, it was too late for them to even stripe it. So it's the black piece of road left on Deering Ridge Road now.
So they did put new culverts in that end of it. Is that where the culverts are going to go, or are they going up by the Deering Field?
I don't know that there's any more culverts to do there. I'm not 100% sure. Remember, when I put categories like this in the budget, sometimes those categories might stay year after year, just for general maintenance issues.
Okay.
Just because that's in there, Diane, doesn't mean there's still culverts to do. And certainly if they paved over something, there should be 0 culverts to do.
I would think so. So, Hamilton Road, there's money in there for that too. So has any of that ditching and culverts been done on that road? That was approved last year, 12,000.
do not think that was done.
Okay,
That would be something that would be
done in spring.
this spring.
Okay, all right.
We did the Oak Lane drainage structure, Pheasant Run drainage structure. Those were smaller jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We still have more culverts to do on Middle Road, and probably not 5 because I think they paved over some of those areas last year.
Okay.
The pavement from Townhouse to Hooper Hill on Deering Ridge was done.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right, I'm good.
If you want to let this slide and think about, numbers and get this other packet later this week and see these new numbers, I don't have a problem with that. And remember, you can always go back and revisit for any changes that we make or any changes that you want to make before you're done. And Selectmen will certainly, be doing some of that as well.
I'd kind of like to wait until we get the new packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, going to unclassified at the top of page 21. What do we have for questions in that section? County taxes were what went up. The 460 I put in there as an estimate. It's at 435 this year, I think, and that 460 may be shy for all we know. Still at 2 police officers, not much change there. The blanks in the agencies toward the bottom third of page 21 mean that I do not have a request yet. So other than the county taxes going up $50,000 in an estimate, there's not a lot of change there. Oh, there is one new request on 537. And Julie didn't really appreciate the request, I guess, because she knows something about the Ospey Valley Fair. But I'm sure Dwayne will chime in with a thought. They did send a letter asking for anything we wanted to give them, which is why I put $1 in there as a placeholder. I don't recall having them ask for money before.
Didn't the Levittsville close?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 0.
That's going to come out eventually. If you look all the way to the right, there's still 3 entries in there. When those are all zeros horizontally, then usually we'll pull the particular line.
Gary, I have something here that you gave us a copy of for York County shelters for a request. Is that the same as 545?
540, whoa.
York County shelters?
Ooh, what's the amount?
1,000.
And it's identified York County shelters right on there?
York County Shelter Programs Appropriation Request.
Okay.
It's 546. Just shelters.
On mine, it's 545 because it's the old paper.
Oh,
Yep.
Right, the shelters is different from the York County Community Action, which is at 3,500.
Right.
Yep, that's correct. Thank you for that. I do have that. So we should have in line 546 a request for $1,000 for York County shelters. And remember, they do run the food pantry there, which does service some people our way. So if you were to approve this line, it would be $718,009. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do about county taxes.
Gary?
Matt?
Hey, just so you know, and I don't know if they knew this or not, but Southern Maine Area Agency is the one that is doing the clinic this Thursday at the Waterboro Town Hall as well for 70 plus in Waterboro. And they are full with 100 plus people.
Shots from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and the slots are all taken, and we're going to help out. And then Matt was through the building today with somebody from Hannaford, right?
That's correct. And the Southern Maine Area Agency may do another clinic as vaccines are available at the town hall moving forward. And Hannaford's trying to partner with the local communities to get it out for outreach as well. For I guess I'll be moving down to 65 plus soon, but right now it's 70 plus.
We're a little limited in the space because you have to sit for 15 minutes after the shot. So I think in the town planner's office and maybe the assessor's office on the right days of the week, we can have maybe a couple of people sticking people in the arms. And then you go into the selectmen's room and sit socially distanced 6 feet apart to wait a particular time to see if you have a reaction. Then you go home. Are they scheduled every 4 or 5 minutes, Matt?
16 per hour is what we're looking at.
Wow. Okay. Any other questions on page 21?
Nothing for me.
What are your wishes?
I make a motion we accept the 718,009.
I'll second that since I finally remembered to unmute myself. I'm wondering why people were ignoring me, for God's sake.
All right, we got a motion and a second, so all in favor?
3-0.
3-0. Okay, very well. Last item, Old Home Days. I'm recommending we not put any money in this because we can carry forward the 13,000 that's in there now. That will take them through May and June of 2022 with the early expenses if the event is going to happen. And then well before that, the budget committee, selectmen, town administrator will be able to budget some additional funds to make that up to about $25,000 if it appears that the event is going to happen. So I took the liberty of putting zeros in all those columns, if you're okay with that.
Gary, just so you know, if you look at the expense report, they've got $20,623 available.
So we had a little bit left over in addition to the 13 for this year then.
Yep.
Yep. So a year from now, you would have to come back and probably put only $5,000 in because, as you remember, they have canceled it for this summer. So Laura and I will make the changes that you voted on this evening, and we will call or email you and let you come in probably, possibly Wednesday. I'm not sure. I'm not going to be in the office tomorrow at all, although Laura can do this without me, that's for sure. Wednesday or Thursday, certainly before the weekend hits us, you'll have a brand new budget that will have more of a final total that you can start to think over and whether or not you need to make any adjustments. Is there anything else that you want staff to do for you folks?
No.
Okay.
No, just get those questions from the rec director, I guess, that we had.
Yeah.
On the field.
Yep.
Yep.
And also, in his uniform line, and I know it's only 1,000, it's not a lot of money. What kind of uniforms do they buy? Because I know the Little League has all their own. So is it, I don't know what rec programs the rec is running anymore, because it seems to be going to more private groups. So, basketball? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do basketball jerseys, and if lacrosse is there, I'm not sure. I mean, they have some leftover uniforms.
Okay.
Sometimes they have to replenish, get new sizes or something,
Okay.
Fill
So
in.
Those aren't included in the registration fee?
Depending on the, it depends on
Or
yes, thank you. The sport.
Oh,
Senior moment here. Yeah, sport.
okay.
Yeah, they have to return them if it includes them, but it depends on the sport. Like basketball.
I think they keep them. Don't they?
Oh, yeah.
I would think now with everything going on there.
Basketball, they keep them for the older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Lacrosse, they return them.
Yep.
So it depends, yeah.
Okay.
All right, stay in touch. Is there anything else from you folks? If so, let us know.
Okay.
No. Well,
No. So I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
3-0.
Have a good night.
Night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time. We'll be in touch.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.